What's up, Tan and J-Man Show Nation? This is Tanner Lee, one half of the Tan and J-Man Show, and boy, do we have a great deal for you. Right now, when you go to tanandjmanshowstore.com and type in the promo code TANandJman when you check out, that's right, Tan and J-Man, all in caps, you get free shipping on any order through the end of 2021. That's the end of 2021, that's December 31st, 2021, so if you're looking to get yourself a short sleeve t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt, hoodie, pint glass, coffee mug, stickers, so much more. TanandJmanShowStore.com makes the perfect holiday gift, supports our show, and at the same time, you can look great doing so. Please go to TanandJmanShowStore.com and buy some merch today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy another brand new episode of the Tan and J-Man Show.
You are watching another episode of the Tan and J-Man Show live on the ISC Sports Network. I'm in Illinois. Tanner's in Indiana. How's the weather there, T-Dog?
Snowy and cold.
How are the roads?
They're a little slick yesterday, but today they haven't been bad. I haven't been out since got off work, but it's been snowing since I got off work. Winter is here.
Yes, it is. And then tomorrow it's supposed to be 50. At least it is here.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the forecast. It's just been cold the last 2 days. I'm trying to stay inside as much as possible.
I tell you what, I mean, it hits out of nowhere where you are expecting it, but then the cold actually gets here and you're like, wasn't ready for it.
I know we were forecast to get 1 to 3 inches yesterday and Saturday. I'm like, Woke up Sunday morning. It's pretty covered. It's like, all right, here we are.
We didn't get any up here, and I was very fortunate for that.
Lucky.
Got some birdie bogey for me?
I do. Let me bring up the banner here. All right. NFL question for you this week.
Great.
Russell Wilson, he just returned to action for the Seattle Seahawks.
From his amputated arm?
Yeah.
That's the way they made it sound.
I know they did.
Like, he fought his way back.
He was rehabbing 16 hours a day, 7 days a week.
19 hours a day is what I read.
Whatever.
Man,
that's
he hurt his
impossible. Before getting shut out against the Green Bay Packers yesterday, he had 149 career starts. That was the 7th longest in NFL history. Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and Brett Favre are 1, 2, 3 in that category. What active quarterback is 4th with 172 starts before being shut out?
Has not been shut out.
This guy was 4th with 172 starts without getting shut out.
Shut out. He's obviously been in the league for a while.
Active.
And he's active. Who are the top 3?
Brees, Manning, and Favre.
Brees, Manning, Favre. And this guy's active.
And I will tell you, I'm going to double check this real quick. I think 5 and 6 are active as well.
Interesting.
I'll have to double check that one. I don't have. Yeah, I'll double check.
Obviously, a few guesses. But Birdie Bogey brought to you by Noble Gnome LLC for fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce from Bryce and Katie Romine, Mentone, Indiana. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, and check out their website, noblegnomellc.com. You know what makes these cold temperatures feel a lot warmer?
What's that?
Some veggies. Get some veggies.
Hey, you can make a lot of good soups with vegetables.
That's right. It's a soup time.
It is definitely a soup time. I've had a lot of soup lately.
You're a soup man.
I am a soup guy. Some people are sauce guys. I'm a soup guy.
You're not a sauce guy. I am a sauce guy.
A good barbecue,
like barbecue sauce.
Or a buffalo sauce, but ketchup, mustard, the condiments, not so much.
You're not a fan. You don't like mayonnaise.
I'm a weird one.
I'm glad you're finally starting to admit it.
Oh, I'll admit it to anybody. College basketball, J-Man. It is back and rolling.
Yes, it is, man. I've been happier than I've been in months.
That doesn't take much being a Cub fan this year and a Dolphin fan.
And a Dolphins fan. Yeah, college basketball's back. We've seen some really good games. I mean, some good matchups already with number 2 UCLA beating Villanova, number 4 Villanova, and then number 1 Gonzaga just manhandling number 5 Texas. Seen some good
tough week to be a Longhorns fan.
Yes, I said to our group message, do you think one Texas fan was watching the basketball game over the football game against Kansas?
Nope.
I'm sure there was one, but they wouldn't admit it.
You're right. Wow. We'll talk about Texas football when we talk about college football, but
yeah, we saw some good Big Ten games. Ohio State got taken to the brink by former Ohio State assistant and Illinois head coach John Gross's Akron team. Akron kind of found a way to lose that one. They should have won.
I thought Ohio State got help from the stripes that game.
Mm-hmm. And which that happens at home against a non-major conference team. It helps you at home against major conference teams for that matter. But they got helped big time. But I mean, that was the game that pretty much kicked off the Big Ten season for college basketball, and it was a good one.
It certainly was. Indiana was in a close one
against was that Eastern Michigan?
Eastern Michigan, yeah, but Indiana should have put them away, but they couldn't hit free throws.
Yeah.
Yep. Both our teams looking good so far. I mean, you haven't even seen your team at full force, and you won't until next week.
Till next Monday. It'll be an interesting show here, the final half hour with Illinois kicking off against Marquette for the Gavitt games.
Don't worry, everybody. We have the mute button ready to roll.
I have a mute button. I think I'll be good for the first 30 minutes, hopefully. if it's not going well, that could be real ugly for me because they should beat them tonight. But who knows? First road game with full capacity fans since March of 2020. So I mean, the first one for 2 starters, Andre Curbelo and Coleman Hawkins. They've never had to face an atmosphere like I think it'll be a pretty good atmosphere in Marquette tonight.
You've tweeted high praise of both those guys lately.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on record saying I think Andre Curbelo is the best pure point guard in college basketball. He was hurt game 1 and then looked really good in 19 minutes against Arkansas State, who actually projected to be a top 2 or 3 team, and I think they're in the Sun Belt. So, I mean, they were unbelievable, won by 39 points. And then Coleman Hawkins, he averaged, I think it was 7 minutes a game last year, 1.3 points per game, and he's arguably been their best player so far. Underwood had raved in the offseason how improved Coleman was, and man, they finally have that 4-man that Underwood's been searching for 5 years, a guy who has some length and can shoot the ball a little bit, good passer as well. So I think he's been the most improved guy in the country. I haven't watched a whole lot of college basketball, but I'm just assuming after him not getting many minutes last year.
Yeah, I know nothing about Marquette for tonight. So
they start 3 redshirt freshmen, but they're only redshirts because of the COVID year. They do have Daryl Morcell, who Illinois is very familiar with and who's been an Illinois killer at Maryland. He had, I think he had close to 20 points last year in their win at Illinois. So they're very familiar with him, but they're an undersized team with not much experience. Of course, Shaka Smart's there. They lost DJ Carton to the NBA. Illinois, last I looked, was 8.5-point favorites, and I think that's about right on the road. I think Illinois is significantly better. But again, first road test with full capacity fans and
without your best player too.
Without Kofi Coburn, which don't get me started on that idiotic NCAA ruling. Because if he would have done the same thing a month later, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yep.
So that's just the NCAA's last stand, essentially, of trying to screw a guy over, which they're very they love to do. They love to swing that power around, and it was just an asinine ruling by the NCAA. But it is what it is. Got to play without him, and they've looked good so far without him. But we'll see tonight against a better opponent than they've faced.
I've been happy what I've seen out of Purdue through 2 games. I mean, they played Bellarmine and Indiana State, not the greatest competition. They play Wright State tomorrow, and then we'll really see what they are made of this weekend when they play North Carolina on Saturday, then either Villanova or Tennessee on Sunday. But through 2 games, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, Jaden Ivey and Zach Edey both had career highs in points. Friday night, and Ivy had career high in rebounds. This is easily Matt Painter's deepest team he's ever had. It's nuts how deep it is, and the bench has got to get another guy on Sunday when Mason Gillis is eligible to return. So it's pretty deep when you can redshirt a 4-star all-state freshman and Trey Kaufman-Wren.
He was a top 40 guy in the country too, wasn't he?
Yeah. But, Matt, when it comes to red shirts, leaves it up to the player. He said, he would have been happy either way if Trey wanted to take the red shirt or not. And Trey kind of looked at, I'm not going to play too much this year. And if I red shirt work on my game, I can play a ton next year. So made the decision for himself.
I've looked at the box score for the first 2 games. Is Travion Williams really coming off the bench?
Yes.
That's insane.
Yes, he is. I mean, he got a potential All-American off the bench, but that shows you right now how good and how improved Zach Edey has been. He was absolutely stupid dominant the other night. And the crazy thing is, right now, if I had to pick anybody to shoot free throws on Purdue, it'd be Zach Edey. And he's 7'4". I mean, he makes it look effortless. He just – I know there's a long ways to go, and a lot of people, of course, are projecting Jaden Ivey to jump pro, which he probably will. Just seeing him live is like, okay, I've never seen a guy get to the rim with ease like this at Purdue in my life. But if Edey keeps improving like this throughout the year, he might be gone too, even though I'm not sure he'll ever be a great pro because the big 7'3", 7'4" guys on the pros are kind of non-existent anymore. But it's just wild to me. This kid didn't play basketball until he's sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
And now here he is just starting over a potential All-American in Travion Williams.
Travion was a first-team All-Big Ten guy by the coaches, I think, wasn't, or was it media? And he's coming off the bench. Have they played together at all?
They might have a little bit in the first game. They didn't the other night. And Travion, it's weird right now. He's not really looking for his shots. It seems like he's more looking to pass the ball. It seems like he really wants to pass against these teams. But the other night, he scores up for a 3 and nails it.
Yeah.
Well, in the first half, when the game was still – in doubt, and I don't know. But there was a stretch the other night he played about the worst I've ever seen him play. And I think there was 5 or 6 NBA scouts at the game. You wonder if that got to his head a little bit. Yeah. But the guy I'm most impressed with in Purdue is their starting point guard, Isaiah Thompson. He's starting over Eric Hunter right now. And through 2 games, he has 0 turnovers, and he's 6 for 11 from behind the arc.
Sounds like his brother.
Yeah, it really does. Just confident with the ball, makes the right decisions, and you kind of have to feel for Eric Hunter a little bit. I mean, this is a guy who played meaningful minutes on the Elite 8 team as a freshman 3 years ago, and right now he's coming off the bench, but it just kind of is what it is. Matt has a good problem on his hands with depth, and he's got to figure out his rotations and his starting lineups.
That's pretty crazy that 2 guys that were starters on last year's team that got a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament are now coming off the bench.
I know.
That just shows how deep they really are.
I know.
But man, PJ was a guy that never turned the ball over. Turned the ball over. And is he still on the coaching staff too?
Yeah, he's a graduate assistant. Or no, he's actually not a graduate assistant. He actually has a role now. He might be video coordinator or something. Their graduate assistants this year are Tommy Luce and Spike Albrecht.
Really?
Spike never wants to leave college, I don't think.
Luce is still probably a fan favorite.
Yeah, yep. I had a laugh the other day. Their managers play against other teams' managers. They lost to Bellarmine's managers with PJ and Tommy Luce playing.
Man.
But they beat Indiana State. So I'm thinking, what did Bellarmine have on their manager roster that beat a guy who started on multiple Sweet 16 teams, and then a guy, of course, who was a walk-on, but
Scottie Pippen.
These guys
must have had Scottie Pippen, the self-proclaimed greatest player to ever live.
Oh, don't get me started on Scottie, but happy college basketball's back. Like you said, a lot of good games coming up this week and this weekend. So I know Butler, they're hosting Michigan State Wednesday night at Hinkle.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
That will be. Absolutely.
So, yeah, should be a good time. I mean, it's just I like this time of year when you got college football winding down and then college basketball starting. It's fun.
Yeah.
A lot to watch.
I'll have a hot take here for you real quick.
I like hot takes.
I don't know if it's a hot take, but it's anyway, I prefer college basketball Saturdays over college football Saturdays. Yeah,
I'd say that's probably a hot take. I would say a majority of people. I will say, I mean, it helps that my football team's at least relevant this year. When that happens, I think I enjoy college football Saturdays a lot more than college basketball Saturdays, but I like college basketball Saturdays a lot too. So,
Sure. You want to go through and pick the Gavitt games here?
Let's do it.
I'll bring them up real quick.
I don't even know who plays, so this could be new to me.
Starting tonight, we have Illinois at Marquette. Illinois is 7.5-point favorite.
I'm taking the line up by 5. J-Man's going to be sweating till the end.
I think I'll be sweating as well. I do think Illinois is quite a bit better than Marquette. Don't know much about them besides Daryl Morcell and Shaka Smart, but I think it'll be a really good game, but Illinois ultimately pulls away at the end.
I just never like playing Shaka Smart teams. My team's 0-3 against them.
And supposedly he's brought back the Havoc defense too.
Yeah, so that's always fun.
It's a good thing Andre Curbello's back to be able to break that. But I think Illinois will be able to score against them. Also tonight, right after the Illinois game, we have Providence at Wisconsin.
I'm going to take the Friars in this one. Purdue lost to them in their secret scrimmage by 1 point in overtime. So I'm going to take Providence. I'm not too high on this Wisconsin team going into the year.
I'm not high on them either, but it's tough not to pick home teams.
Yeah, you're right.
In college basketball this early in the season. So give me Wisconsin. I don't know much about Providence, though, admittedly. But give me Wisconsin.
Good old Al Durham plays for Providence.
That's right.
Indiana,
so he's very familiar with Wisconsin. They're very familiar with him.
There's a running joke among Purdue fans that he had to transfer to Providence to finally beat Purdue.
Creighton at Nebraska.
Oh, Creighton. Nebraska's awful.
Nebraska's bad. They lost to – who'd they lose to game one? It was somebody they shouldn't have.
Was it Sam Houston State or was that the team they beat the other night?
They beat Sam Houston State, lost to Western Illinois, who's been
the
garbage in basketball for years.
The Leathernecks.
They might have the most talented player in the Big Ten in Bryce McGowens. He'll probably be a one-and-done guy. I think he's averaging 20-plus points a game for him. But give me Creighton on the road.
Yep.
Tomorrow night we have Seton Hall unranked at number 4, Michigan.
I know nothing about Seton Hall, but give me Michigan.
Give me Michigan. Too good.
Yep.
Wednesday night, we have Michigan State at Butler, as you said. Butler's 3-0.
Give me the Spartans, though. Butler didn't play well the other night. Michigan State's one loss is to Kansas. I mean, there's nothing nothing to put your head down about losing to Kansas. They're pretty good year in, year out. Hinkle will be absolutely rocking, though. Hinkle magic, you never know. But give me the Spartans.
Give me Sparty. Butler's kind of starting to lose it a little bit ever since they hired what's their coach's name?
LeVar Jordan.
Yep. LeVar or Laval?
Now Laval sounds right now.
Yeah, Laval. I don't know. Who cares? 2-0 St. John's traveled to Indiana.
Oh, I want to take St. John's. I hope Aaron Wheeler puts 40 up. But
Aaron Wheeler's at St. John's?
Yeah, he starts for him. Went back home. Well, he's from Connecticut, but close to home, and he wasn't going to play for this Purdue team. So, but I think Indiana wins by 12.
I was going to say I think Indiana wins by double digits.
I think Barstool Sports is going to be on site at that tomorrow, throwing an event.
Why?
I believe the Bench Mob podcast, their basketball podcast, wanted to go on site somewhere, and they chose Indiana. I don't know why.
Number 19, Ohio State travels to Cincinnati. Take on Xavier.
I know nothing about Cincinnati this year, but
they play Xavier. Sorry, that was misleading.
Oh,
they traveled to Cincinnati to play Xavier.
Okay, gotcha. Xavier's kind of fallen the last couple of years. Ohio State has been in 2 close games. Survived against Akron, like you said, and then against Niagara. Mm-hmm. Almost lost that one, but I think they keep it going in the close wins and win a close one at the Cintas Center.
Ohio State's playing tonight currently against Bowling Green, and they're up 9 early, so I think they bounce back there. Give me Ohio State as well on the road. Rutgers at DePaul. Rutgers has been kind of struggling as well against some non-power teams.
Yeah, they beat somebody in overtime the other night, but it's hard to go against Gio and Ron Harper. I think Rutgers wins a fairly close one at DePaul.
Give me Rutgers. I mean, DePaul is DePaul.
Yep.
So give me Rutgers. Then on Saturday we have North Carolina against Purdue. That's neutral site or is that?
Yeah, it's out in Connecticut. It's at the casino out there. Something Sun, Rising Sun Casino or something. I don't know. Mohegan Sun.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about Carolina this year, except Hubert Davis is their coach, and they're ranked. Of course, they're going to be the most athletic team Purdue's played up to this date. But I'll take Purdue. Why not?
Oh, give me Purdue by 15.
Oh, I'll be a one happy camper if Purdue wins by 15.
North Carolina gave up almost 90 points to Brown. A few days ago.
Right. I did see that. Yeah.
Purdue rolls them.
I hope so.
And then you say they play either Villanova or Tennessee. I assume it'll be Villanova.
Yeah, I'm tired of playing both these programs. It seems like Purdue, especially Tennessee, Purdue plays them a lot.
Yeah.
But once again, I'm just going to take Purdue for the heck of it. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they go 1-1. I actually think on one of my other podcasts I do, the Boiler Breakdown, I think I said Purdue would lose one game out east, but I changed my tune already.
Nova would be real tough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Real tough. I think that's going to do it for Big Ten, although my word association is Big Ten basketball related. I have the past 15 Big Ten Player of the Year award winners.
Wow.
Starting with Luka Garza, who won back-to-back years.
Eyebrows.
He's got those big eyebrows.
Is he even doing anything in the pros right now?
He was with Detroit, and I know he was playing early. I haven't followed it, though.
I have not watched a single minute of NBA basketball.
I've gotten into the Bulls a little bit.
You and all the so-called Bull fans from the past. But no, I literally haven't watched a minute. I might not till the Sonics come back.
It might be a few years.
I might be waiting a little while.
Cassius Winston.
Oh, man. Tough as nails. That guy, he was around forever and just tough. Clutch. He was
great.
Good with the ball.
Clutch,
yep.
Great passer. A guy that's kind of forgotten, Keita Bates-Diop.
Tippin and Mackey. Broke Purdue's heart from possibly three-peating as Big Ten champs. A guy who just talk about improvement from one year to the next. Holy cow. But he was a good one.
Biggie Swanigan.
It's too bad to see what's happened to him now. I mean, it's crazy at Mackey. They show him as part of the entrance video, and now the latest picture I've seen him, it doesn't look like the same person at all. And a great story of triumph to get where he was and to get to the NBA, but hopefully he can get his life back on track.
Denzel Valentine.
Another guy that Spartan was just tough and clutch. Another guy who just improved. I mean, from his sophomore to senior year, my goodness, and went to the Bulls. Then I don't know where he's at now.
He is with, I just saw him the other day. I think he might be, Detroit or Cleveland. I want to say
everybody's with Detroit. Everybody's in that division, the Central Division of the Eastern Conference. But he's just another Spartan that was just clutch and just solid.
Frank the Tank Kaminsky.
Oh, man. I keep saying improvement, but this guy, he went from averaging 4 points to being the MVP in the Naismith, I believe, Player of the Year. Was first-round draft pick by the Hornets. Didn't do too much for them, but, man, those Bo Ryan teams were good when he was there.
Frank was a fantastic player, but the media loved him so much that he got an air of overratedness to him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nick Stauskas.
Wow. Athletic. He was athletic.
Great shooter, too.
I hadn't thought about that name in a long time. he kind of was one of the ones that started the Michigan trend of guys jumping to the NBA.
Yeah.
Went to the Kings. He was a good one.
Trey Burke.
Clutch. That shot against Kansas in the Elite Eight. Ridiculous. Take it into overtime. Man, those Michigan teams were so good. They still are good, but they were so good.
Your favorite Big Ten player of all time, Draymond Green.
Oh, boy. I see he's on the Peyton and Eli show tonight. He's one of the 4 guests. I don't know. The other guests are great. They're going to have Philip Rivers. I'm not a Rivers fan on the field, but
he'll be a good one.
Phil Mickelson's on there.
Nice.
I don't remember the other one. And then Draymond. It's like, ugh.
Marshawn Lynch on there a few weeks ago was hilarious.
I was so disappointed last week. I flipped over to ESPN2 and it wasn't on because they're only doing like 10 broadcasts a year for the next couple of years, which makes sense.
I wish they were doing it every single week, though.
Man,
it's so much better.
Oh, yeah, I love watching it.
Juwan Johnson.
JJ, a guy who fizzled in the NBA, got drafted by the Celtics, then kind of had no work ethic and fizzled out of the NBA within like 2 years. But a guy that went from coming off the bench as freshman year at Purdue, averaging 5 points, to Big Ten MVP and All-American his senior year. So he developed a good jump shot by the time he graduated, and he was a heck of a shot blocker. So he was a good one. One of my favorites.
The villain, Evan Turner.
Oh, probably the best Big Ten player I've seen in my lifetime.
Agreed.
That guy, I remember the game Robbie Hummel hit about 7 threes in the first half. Didn't matter. Evan Turner put up 35, and Michigan State in Ohio State gutted out a win.
Wasn't that his first game back from like a broken
back?
Too?
Broke his back against Eastern Michigan, I believe, hanging on the rim, fell and smacked his back on the court. Gosh, he was tough. I don't miss playing against him.
No, he was a good one. That shot he made against Michigan in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, 2010. That was ridiculous.
Blast from the past. These next 4 blasts from the past, but Kalen Lucas.
He reminds me a lot of just remember the Michigan State guard we were just talking about earlier.
Cassius Winston.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
Lucas seemed like he was there forever. Him and Drew Neitzel before him. They always have those steady point guards.
Yep.
He was just good with the ball in his hands.
And I think that's what's been missing for Michigan State the past 2 seasons is not having a Cassius Winston or Kalen Lucas type there.
Right.
Your second favorite Big Ten player, DJ White.
I was waiting for an Indiana boy to come up. Better start clapping there for old DJ. That's all that guy did was clap. I was clapping when they got knocked out by Arkansas in the first round.
Was that Dockich?
Yeah.
The interim year?
Yep. Hoffarber hit the shot, and then Arkansas bounced him. Yep.
Alondo Tucker.
Wow. Who did he get in a fight with a year or 2 ago?
It was last year. It was last year. DeMonte Williams. It about cost Illinois the game, but luckily it was offsetting technicals in a sense. That's DeMonte for you, and that's Alondo Tucker. Alondo Tucker's actually born and raised in Lockport and went to Lockport Township High School, which is just a mile from where I'm currently living.
And I was not trying to set any of that up. I did not know who they played when he did that, so that was perfect. But
you remember that game last year when?
Oh yeah, now that you remember that.
Trice scored like 20 points in the final 4 minutes to make it a game.
I remember your Twitter feed that day. It was pretty entertaining.
It was a scary day.
I didn't know Tucker was a Big Ten MVP. That's surprising to me.
Final one here, Terrence Dials.
Another one I couldn't have told you. Big boy at Ohio State. I don't think he ever really made the pros. I don't know if he was drafted or not.
Had some Jared Sullinger look to him. Just kind of
that's
bigger.
So Sully never won the MVP, the Big Ten, huh?
No.
Wow.
Unless I skipped over one. I might have skipped over one, but I don't think so.
Juwan won it in 2011. And 2010 would have been Turner. You're right. Wow. Well, they weren't on the same team, so 2012.
Sullinger was 11, and then he played 10-11, and then 11-12.
12. So
11 was Juwan, right?
Yeah. Was 12 Trey Burke?
No, that was 13. I'm going to bring it up again. I already forget. It might have been Draymond.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was Draymond.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Man, Sullinger was better than Draymond.
Ohio State's had a lot of good basketball players, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're a pretty good sports school.
Must be nice.
Yeah, must be.
Yeah. Well, you want some on this day? You want to get educated real quick before we talk some foosball? All right, let's do it. On this day, on November 15th, I have not looked at these, so let's see what we have here. On this day, 1901, the 6th Iron Bowl, Auburn beat Alabama 17-0.
1901, huh?
I bet Auburn would be pretty thrilled with that result this year.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No. On this day, 1960, Elgin Baylor of the NBA's LA Lakers scored 71 points against the New York Knicks.
Elgin is a guy that is a legend, but not many people remember him.
No, and I mean, 71 points without the three-point line?
It's pretty good.
Let's see here. On this day, 1970, Paul Brown, as head coach of the expansion Cincinnati Bengals, defeated his former team, the Cleveland Browns, a moment he calls his greatest victory. Paul Brown Stadium.
Yeah.
I've always found that whole rivalry there pretty unique in the history of those two. On this day in 1980, the 30th NASCAR Sprint Cup was won by Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator.
He's pretty good.
Yes, he was. He went on to win a lot of those. His son never won one. On this day in 1989, Walter Davis of the Denver Nuggets began an NBA free throw streak of 53 games.
53 straight games where he didn't miss a free throw?
Yeah, correct. But in 1991, Ricky Pierce of the Seattle Sonics, bringing him back, began an NBA free throw streak of 75 games. That's crazy.
Seems like something Steph Curry's already beaten.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. On this day in 2015, I remember this. Holly Holm defeated UFC champion Ronda Rousey in an upset in Melbourne, Australia.
Haven't heard a whole lot about Ronda Rousey since then.
Her and her husband, I think his name's Trevor Brown, became parents not too long ago.
Oh.
So after UFC, she actually had a 1-year stint in the WWE. And then after that, she decided she wanted to try to become a mother. So that's what she did.
Good for her.
On this day in 2017, 3 UCLA basketball players were suspended after admitting to shoplifting in China.
LiAngelo was one of them, right?
He was. They were released at President Donald Trump's request. You remember that?
Yes, that was so stupid.
On this day, 2018, LeBron James passed Wilt Chamberlain for 5th on the NBA's career scoring list with 44 points in the Lakers' 126-117 victory over the Portland Trail Blazers at the Staples Center. And on this day last year, I forgot about this, that it was right now, the 84th Masters tournament was won by Dustin Johnson, as he fired a record total of 20 under to win his first Masters title by 5 strokes over Cameron Smith and Sungjae Im.
I completely forgot that was in November last year.
I did too. Wow. Seems like a lot longer ago than a year.
It does. I would like to change my Illinois Marquette prediction looking how rockin' Marquette is.
That didn't take long.
Well, they haven't even tipped off yet, but just looking at the looking at the fans.
The Fiserv Forum is rocking tonight. And I didn't do the word association read or the on this day read. The word association that Josh did a little bit ago is brought to you by Rhett Lee Attorney at Law. Rhett Lee and the law office of Andrew Akey LLC are located at 206 4th Street in Logansport, Indiana. Rhett provides legal services to the people of North Central Indiana and practices criminal defense, family law, and personal injury. If you need a lawyer who cares about your results and will fight for you, give Rhett a call today to schedule your free consultation at 574-722-2221. And the On This Day segment is brought to you by Performer Print House. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, Performer Print House has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company today by giving them a call at 574-210-3815.
Want to talk some college football?
I would love to talk some college football. Another not as wild of a week as we've seen, but still some noteworthy games to talk about. I want to start off, I kind of previewed it a little bit earlier. Let's talk about those Texas Longhorns, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Rock, Chalk, Jayhawk.
Kansas had not won a road game since 2008.
At Texas. Texas now 4-6. Oklahoma broke them.
Yes.
They're in the Red River Shootout.
Yeah.
Texas had that game in the bag.
They did.
Oklahoma broke them.
They were up, 17 or 18, something like that?
Yeah.
Man.
It's
getting to the point where it's getting so ugly that you wonder if Sarkisian's going to be one and done.
I know. And don't forget, Josh, they're going to the SEC soon.
Yeah, I saw a tweet. It was like Vanderbilt is licking its chops.
Man. I mean, it was bad that there was two recruits, I believe they're both 4-stars, were at the game. They're videotaping the end. They were laughing when they lost to Kansas. That's not a good look.
That's so embarrassing.
Not a good look. I mean, this is one of the programs that used to be one of the elite, and they are so far from it.
Kansas did everything in their power to try to lose it too.
They
Is
did.
the funny thing, and Texas just said, "Nah, we're good."
Man, watch out for Kansas. I'm not saying they're going to win 7 games next year or anything, but that coach is getting some improvement out of those guys.
Lance Leipold, something like that. He built Wisconsin Whitewater into a national power. He built Buffalo was arguably the worst school in the MAC, and he built them into a MAC champion or close to it. I don't remember if they won the MAC or not. He's a guy that's a proven program builder, and I think they have a decent shot to at least get respectable. I don't know if they'll ever be as good as they were with Mark Mangini. I think that was his name.
Mangino,
that's right. I had Eric Mangini on the mind.
Yeah. Oh, that's
somehow. I don't know how he was on my mind. But yeah, I think they'll be solid at one point.
Kansas likes that Buffalo pipeline. Remember Turner Gill, but they only gave him 2 years, and they ousted him. But I think this guy will get more time than that. But that was my highlight of the weekend, college football, seeing Texas go down. Beautiful.
It's always so fun watching Texas lose for some reason, because they've been declared back by so many players over the past 8 years or so, and they're clearly this might be rock bottom for them at this point.
Oh, I think it's got to be. And then you had Auburn pulling off their best Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
28-3 to Mississippi State, and Mississippi State scores 40 unanswered.
Yeah. 40 unanswered?
40 unanswered.
Man, I saw they were down. What was it? It was 28-3.
It was 28-3. It was the exact score that the Falcons blew to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And man, I can't figure Auburn and Bo Nix out. They're week to week. You don't know what you're going to get.
Bo Nix is so week to week. He's great at times, and then after watching him, his first career game, wasn't it? Who'd they play? Where he
wasn't it at Texas?
I can't remember, but he looked good. And we're like, man, this guy's going to be a superstar. He just hasn't. He just been
Yep.
Been okay.
Yep. Big Ten, no real surprising results, I guess. You had a really good one between Penn State and Michigan down at Happy Valley. Michigan scores a late touchdown and gets the win, and much needed for Harbaugh and company to keep their playoff hopes alive. I keep thinking Franklin, I think he's done there.
Yeah. They have 4 losses now. I think they're 6-4.
And they still
I'm pretty sure they're 6-4.
I think you're right. And they still play Michigan State, I believe, to end the year.
Yeah, he probably should have gotten out when he had the chance. Because I don't know I can't imagine USC or LSU is going to call him now after a 4-loss Big Ten season.
I wouldn't think so, but Indiana, talk about rock bottom. I think they're at rock bottom.
They're arguably by far the most disappointing Big Ten team, I would say. You could argue in the country, though. They came into the year ranked, what were they, 17th or 18th?
Has there ever been a team ranked in the top 25 to only win 2 regular season games? I would say no.
Question.
I would say no.
It'd be difficult to say yes.
I know.
Because usually the teams that are ranked in the top 20, they have a pretty good bet to at least get to 6 wins to get to a bowl. But, man, that's been an unmitigated disaster.
And I know they've had injuries and they had a tough schedule, particularly the first 6 games. But you're losing 30-some to 3 at home to Rutgers.
Yeah.
And your players are fighting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And literally the crowd just leaves like during the game. It's bad.
Did you see part of their student section stripped? In protest of losing to Rutgers. Which I understand that instinct.
Yeah, they got Minnesota at home this week and then at Purdue next week. So
yeah, I don't see them winning a game.
I think they're gonna go over in the Big Ten.
Man, that's disappointing for them. That's a shame. Just a shame.
Well, and we'll talk about our preseason predictions next week in more detail. But I had them going 6-6, and that was just me hoping that they're gonna have a bad season at 6-6 for them because they were so hyped up. And wow.
I don't think anyone could have foreseen this. I know they had a tough schedule early and they kind of got behind the 8 ball to start, but then injuries piled up and they weren't that good regardless.
And I guess Michael Penix, he did, or What did our good friend Evan Webb say? I don't think he even dressed Saturday for the game, but he was buying bottle service out Friday night. Yikes. Before the game. So
that's a bad look.
It's not good down there. And I don't know why they're playing Tuttle over Macaulay. You're out of it anyways. Play your young guy, get him some reps.
Right. I mean, you have nothing to lose playing the younger guy.
Yep. So Purdue got shellacked in the horseshoe. I thought Purdue's offense played pretty good, but their defense, woof. That was a day to forget for the Boiler defense. Ohio State did whatever they wanted.
Did they force a punt?
One.
Was it real late?
Still think it was in the third quarter sometime.
Yeah, I
watched my goodness.
The first. I would say I watched the majority of the first half, and it was just they just couldn't get a stop. They get it to third down every once in a while, but they just couldn't get a stop. Which that's Ohio State. You know, they're going to be able to move the ball that well against really anyone.
CJ Stroud gets the ball out of his hands quick. He's got weapons everywhere. They got a good ground game. They have good line. It's just crazy how talented they are.
Yeah.
I was watching the game with my girlfriend. She goes, "How are they so good?" And like every year, I don't know. That's just Ohio State. It's been that way in the Big Ten for years. They're the cream of the crop. That was disappointing that they couldn't cover that 20-point spread and at least hang in there. But I'll tell you what, Aiden O'Connell's playing some good football for the Boilers. I haven't seen a quarterback play this good since Curtis Painter.
I saw he has the fourth best QBR in Big Ten history.
Yeah.
Crazy thing is CJ Stroud's is higher. It's better. I think Justin Fields had the second best QBR season ever. But yeah, O'Connell's tearing it up.
If it wasn't for Stroud, O'Connell, you could argue a case for him to be first team all Big Ten.
Sure.
But Stroud's going to take that cake.
And
but
it's hard to believe he wasn't even the starter.
I know. Don't even get me started. I was very wrong about that too. I didn't think either guy was better than the other. I've been proven wrong. Now I'm crossing my fingers that he wants to come back for a sixth year. I'd love to have him back. So, Minnesota loses a close one to Iowa. Michigan State bounced back over Maryland. Wisconsin blew out Northwestern. So that was basically it around the Big Ten. Notre Dame blew out Virginia. I thought it was going to be a close one.
Yeah, so I think I picked Virginia. I remember picking them. Did not go well.
Nope. Irish are pretty good, and they're not going to lose another game until the bowl season.
And I don't think they can. I don't think they have a case to get into the playoff either.
They better not get in over Cincinnati.
They better not. Yeah.
I got Big Ten
Illinois. Go ahead.
I got Big Ten power rankings real quick.
Every week I forget. I'm gonna mute my mic so I can yell at Bo Borowski here.
We can read your lips. Really, all that changed from last week. I got all the other rankings are the same. Indiana 14th, Nebraska 13th, or Northwestern 13th, Nebraska 12th. Maryland fell from 9th to 11th. Illinois still 10th. Rutgers moved up from 11th to 9th. Minnesota still 8th. Penn State 7. Purdue 6. Iowa 5. Wisconsin 4. Michigan 3. Michigan State 2. Ohio State 1. It's not a lot of movement.
Yeah, I mean, what we thought would happen happened. So it's tough to really argue with that.
Yep.
So going around the Big Ten, we have Illinois at Iowa.
Yeah, Illinois needs this one if they want to make a bowl because I think they will beat Northwestern in the Lincoln's Hat Trophy game or whatever they call that, Landon Lincoln Trophy. But I think the Hawkeyes get this one at Kinnick. Give me the Hawkeyes for 4.
I have Iowa for 2. I think Illinois can get them.
Iowa's not going to score a ton.
Right, and they're not starting Petrus again. Whoever started for him on Saturday, I don't remember his name, is starting.
I didn't even know he didn't play.
And I don't know if he got benched or if he got hurt or what, but he's starting. I think, Minnesota ran the ball all over him. I think Illinois will have to because they can't throw it whatsoever. But I think it's at Iowa. There's no way Illinois wins in there. So I have it for 2. Purdue at Northwestern. It's not at Northwestern. It's versus Northwestern in Wrigley Field.
It's in the friendly confines. They have the field ready to go both ways this time. This is billed a Northwestern home game, but it sounds like Purdue's going to have a lot more fans there. I know a lot of Purdue fans personally going.
Northwestern doesn't have fans.
It's a nooner. No, they don't. I actually got Purdue for 5. If Purdue's offense plays like they have in the last few weeks, they'll win by at least 2 touchdowns.
I have Purdue for 7. That's how little I think in
Kiss of
Northwestern.
death. Thanks, Jay, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. If Purdue scores more than 17 points, they win.
I think Purdue's defense is going to be fired up Northwestern's offense isn't Ohio State's, but they were embarrassed. I think they're going to be fired up to make a statement.
We have Minnesota at Indiana.
Golden Gophers is a 7-point favorite. I got the Gophers, but I only have them for 1 point.
Same. I mean, you look at all the other games, and that's the only logical 1-pointer in my opinion. Right? But yeah, give me Minnesota. Michigan State at Ohio State.
I got the Buckeyes, but for 3. I think this will be a good one. We've seen Michigan State put off the stunner at the Horseshoe before, but I think Ohio State's on a mission to make that playoff, and I don't think the Spartans are going to stop them.
I have Ohio State for 6. I think Michigan State's very good, but I just don't see them winning in Ohio State.
Yeah, it's a tough task.
Yeah. Rutgers at Penn State.
I got Penn State, but only for 2. I mean, Rutgers only scored 3 points 2 weeks ago against Ohio State, but then they only let Indiana score 3 points against them. I just don't know where this Penn State team's at. I don't know how good they really are, but Senior Day and Happy Valley, I think they get it done against Schiano.
I just think them being at home, give me Penn State for 5. I don't see Rutgers really even hanging all that much with them. So yeah, Penn State for 5. Michigan at Maryland.
I got Michigan for 6 here. They've come too far to slip now.
Yep.
Everything's got to head into that big game, the game.
Yeah.
In the last
both teams really control their own destiny, Ohio State and Michigan, to get to the playoffs. So give me Michigan for 3. Yeah, I don't think this is arguably Jim Harbaugh's best team here at Michigan.
It's his best chance to get him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I don't think he will. I think it's his best chance.
I don't either. Nebraska at Wisconsin.
Here's my 7-pointer. Give me the Badgers. Badgers playing great football. Nebraska coming off a bye, but what do they have to play for?
Nothing. Yeah.
Exactly. And Wisconsin's got the West to play for, so.
I have Wisconsin for 4. I could see Nebraska hanging, but I mean, they're done.
That's what they do. They lose close games.
Yeah.
They lose close games. I mean, but no, it doesn't matter how close you are unless you're playing horseshoes.
Yeah. Horseshoes and hand grenades.
There you go.
This episode's brought to you by The Dam Landing. Whether you want an epic burger, hand-tossed pizza, hand-bread tenderloin, seafood, craft beer, or a handcrafted cocktail, Dam Landing is the place to be. The Dam Landing is a bar and grill located on beautiful Lake Manitou. Focuses on freshness and quality. You can wash down their delicious food with one of their 16 beers on tap, including a constant rotation of today's best microbrews and domestic flavors, or a handcrafted cocktail made using fresh ingredients. Take in the fantastic views of Lake Manitou and their beer garden or outdoor bar area. Whether it be boats or wheels, the Dam Landing is a place to be, located at 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester.
They had some good-looking barbecue again over the weekend.
Again, I don't know.
I screwed up by not giving myself some, but I'm going to have to do that soon. And I don't think anybody's going to be using their boat to get there right now.
No.
Probably going to be by wheels.
Yep. I wonder how many boats are actually still on the water. I'm assuming most people took them out already.
I would think so. It's getting pretty cold.
Yep.
And this podcast is also brought to you by, that is the wrong banner. It'd help if there we go. By Circle 15 Golf. Circle 15 Golf is a brand focused on bringing tour quality products and experience to the everyday golfer. Built on 25 years of tour experience, featuring the Genesis glove, the most durable and comfortable glove available, and the patented Glove Hub, the first and only glove humidor on the market. Find those products and more: hats, ball markers, diver repair tools, all that good stuff at circle15golf.com. I think their Veterans Day special ended yesterday, but they had a pretty good special on. They're constantly having promotions and specials going on. So get on Circle 15 Golf, grab yourself a whole Glove Hub bundle, get yourself a glove hub, a hat, ball marker, div repair tools. They make great holiday gifts for the golfer and your family. So
absolutely.
It's not too early to start thinking about that.
Absolutely. 3 winners, 3 losers from the NFL's week.
Yeah, another interesting weekend around the NFL, Week 10. One of my winners, the New England Patriots.
Yeah, they are on my list as well.
Smacked the Cleveland Browns around, and then some.
It's getting to the point where you can almost say that they're one of the best teams in the AFC. Mac Jones is going to be a star. Now. They are so hot.
I hate it. So we can write them off.
I do too. I mean, don't even get me started on them.
One of my other winners, the Green Bay Packers.
Interesting.
Pitch a shutout yesterday against Seattle. Take over the number 1 seed in the NFC. Man, Man, they're going to be tough to beat. If they can keep that 1 or 2 seed even, they're going to be tough to beat.
I mean, they even hung with they hung with Kansas City. Their defense is fantastic, and Aaron Rodgers has never had a defense this good, and they're getting some guys off of injured reserve as well.
It really does feel like it's the last dance for Rodgers. Like one more good run at it.
Yep, I agree. One of my winners, Kansas City Chiefs.
They're my third.
Going on the road to Vegas, and they look like the Chiefs of old. Patrick
they
Mahomes
looked like they were back last night.
Yep, they really did, unfortunately, because I'm kind of getting sick of them as well, as I'm sure you are.
I'm afraid they're going to run away with the West now.
Yep. Mahomes threw for over 405 touchdowns, I think. Yeah. So.
And the Raiders just looked. It was like one of two things: are the Chiefs back or are the Raiders back? Which one's back there? Yeah.
Yep. We got to kind of hurry up because we only have 10 minutes left. My other winner, Minnesota Vikings, winning at home against the LA Chargers. It's a good win for them.
Yep. They are the one team that isn't protected in the playoffs right now that I could see getting hot and sneaking in there.
Losers, the NFL for having a tie. Every single year when there's a tie, I say the NFL is a loser because we should not have any ties. But that was the worst game I've ever watched.
Speaking of ties, the Steelers are one of my losers. I know they tied, didn't get lost, and I know their quarterback, well, of course, didn't play, but you let the worst team in the NFL come into your house and tie the game.
The Lions kicker, I'm surprised still has a job today.
I've been surprised Mason Crosby's had a job. How many field goals he's missed for the Packers, but
Tampa Bay Bucks were one of my losers.
Good one.
Losing to the football team, coming off a bye too. I thought that was a real bad loss for them.
I did not have them as one of my losers, but I had another team that starts with the letter B. That's the Browns. I mean,
I thought you were going to say Broncos.
I could have. Trust me, I could have, but I forget about them. They're on the bye week. I don't even want to talk about them. Quarterback doesn't even. I'm going to stop. The Browns, they got smacked by the Patriots, and there's nothing else to say. They beat the Bengals last week. I can't figure them out.
Arizona Cardinals were my last loser. I know you're without your quarterback and your best wide receiver, but they got shellacked by a bad Panthers team.
They let Cam Newton come in, score some touchdowns.
Scored. How many do you end up scoring?
2. He said those were the two plays he knew. So, but Matt Rule said this week he's getting majority of the number 1 snaps. So,
really, well,
Cam
Darnold's going to be out a few weeks.
Yep.
And PJ Walker's.
They're paying him $10 million. They're paying him $10 million, so you might as well start the guy.
Yeah, I guess.
My other losers, the LA Chargers. I keep thinking they're going to be one of the better teams in the AFC and make the playoffs. Yeah. Now I'm thinking not so much.
They have some befuddling losses this year.
They do.
Which this is one of them.
Good word.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate that. I won the belt.
That's why I don't have it draped on me right now, unfortunately.
It came back home, which I'm very thankful for. But I won the belt this week. It was a bad week for both of us. It was terrible.
Were off. But, J-Man, have you checked our fantasy football matchup?
My fantasy team does what the J-Man fantasy team usually does. Starts out 5-1, and I'm about to be on a 3-game losing streak. My team's falling apart on me as it usually does.
DeAndre Hopkins not playing, putting up a goose egg, helped me big time.
I didn't see that until and then you can't pick up a guy, so that because he was a game time decision, I was holding out hope. Yeah. Just typical J-Man fantasy luck.
Yeah, unless Cooper goes off tonight, you might not score 100 again.
Second straight week, and my team is putting up the most points in our league too for the first 5 or 6 weeks. Classic. Yeah, the J-Man fantasy curse is very, very real. Thursday night, we have the New England Patriots traveling to Atlanta.
Atlanta blew a 28-3 legendary. They're not going to get that sort of league. Give me New England for 13.
They got embarrassed yesterday in Dallas.
Whooped.
Give me New England for 11. The Miami Dolphins traveling to the New York Jets. The Dolphins' next 4 games, they have the Jets twice, Giants, and Panthers. They can get back to 500.
They're going to get your hopes up again. Good win for them against Baltimore the other night. One of the most athletic plays that didn't count by a lineman I've ever seen.
Seriously.
Give me the Dolphins, but for 4.
I have the Dolphins a little higher than I think I want to, and I have the Dolphins for 8.
Okay.
I mean, I could see the Dolphins losing this one easily, but I have eight on it. Indianapolis Colts travel to Buffalo.
Colts are back at 500, but they don't historically play very good in Buffalo. I think Buffalo gets them at home. Give me the Bills for 14.
I have the Bills for 9. Colts could have easily lost to Jacksonville yesterday.
They screwed around for a little bit.
Yeah. Baltimore at Chicago.
Bears coming off a bye. Baltimore coming off another overtime win. They're good at getting those. Give me the Ravens for 9.
Ravens for 12. The Ravens lost last week.
That's right. That's right.
We were literally just talking about it.
Yeah. Yep. Minnesota won in overtime, didn't they?
Yes.
Somebody won in overtime yesterday. I don't know. Whatever. Move on. I'm having a brain fog. Move on.
Baltimore for 12. Detroit at Cleveland.
Oh, this is fun. Good old legendary Coach Hooker's favorite 2 teams. Give me the Brownies for 10.
I have Cleveland for 13. Detroit's not. They might not win a game. Houston at Tennessee.
Tennessee for 15.
Tennessee for 15. Green Bay at Minnesota.
Sorry, Logan Strim. Green Bay for 11.
I don't know if I've picked Minnesota once this year.
I don't think
and they have 4 or 5 wins. Give me Green Bay for 10. New Orleans at Philadelphia.
Jalen Hurts, I thought, played pretty well yesterday.
Played well yesterday. I watched a lot of that game.
The Saints can get close, but they can't get over the hump later with T-Money Wiggle, Trevor Siemian. Give me the Eagles for 6.
I have Philadelphia for 5. Washington football team travels to Carolina.
Panthers for 5.
I have Carolina for 4.
Cam Newton will want to get back at Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
I didn't even think about that. San Francisco 49ers at Jacksonville.
Jaguars for 1.
I had the Jaguars for 1, and I switched it to San Francisco for 3.
I just have a weird feeling about this one.
I really think Jacksonville gets them, though, but I didn't pick it. I wish I would have, though.
Shanahan could be in trouble.
He should be in trouble. John Lynch should be in major trouble. He's been a terrible GM.
Well, they gave him both 6-year contracts.
They gave him big contract. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. We have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Vegas Raiders.
I think the Raiders get this one for some reason, but only for 2 points.
Raiders for 2. We're right on the same wavelength. So for some reason, I'm picking the Raiders still after all they've been through the past couple weeks.
I know. If it was at Cincinnati, I would take the Bengals.
Yeah. Dallas at Kansas City.
I think Kansas City found something last night. Give me the Chiefs for 7.
I have the Chiefs for 1. I picked this game before last night's game, and I still thought the Chiefs were going to win. But, I think Chiefs are unfortunately back. Yeah, I know. It's terrible, isn't it? Let's see here. We have Arizona at Seattle.
Hard one to figure out here because I think Seattle could get hot late in the season with Russell back, but I'm taking the Cardinals for 3. I'm hoping that Kyler's back and DeAndre's back.
Yes, because I have the Cardinals for 7. So I'm with you. I need both those guys back for this one. Pittsburgh at the LA Chargers.
I'm taking the Chargers for 8. Chargers lose this one. I might not pick them the rest of the year just because I keep thinking they're going to turn it on and they haven't been. So
I have not done a book it prediction yet. I'm going to wait till the last game. I have the Chargers for 6. Final game here, Giants at Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay for 12.
This will be the J-Man's book it prediction of the week.
TB 12, I should say.
I think Tampa Bay wins by at least 4 touchdowns. That's my
You've done that before this year.
Tampa Bay by 4 touchdowns. I have them for 14 points here. J-Man's Book and Prediction of the Week brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watering for life, home, auto, business, workers' comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watering@infb.com.
And bye week for your fantasy teams, Denver Broncos and LA Rams. I miss you already, Vaughn.
Hit me with that birdie, Bogey.
Birdie Bogey. Russell Wilson, before getting shut out yesterday against the Green Bay Packers, had 149 career starts before being shut out. This was the 7th longest streak in NFL history. Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and Brett Favre are 1, 2, 3 in this category. What active quarterback is 4th with 172 starts before being shut out?
This person is active?
Yes.
And this is a tough one. I have two players in mind, actually three players in mind, and those are three pretty obvious players. But I'm going to go, for some reason, I'm thinking Ben Roethlisberger.
Give yourself a bogey.
Is it Aaron Rodgers?
Nope.
Good.
Rodgers is 6th on the list. Matthew Stafford is 5th on the list.
Tom Brady?
No.
171. I have no idea.
Joe Flacco.
Really? You got me back this week.
You know, man. Flacco has 225 career passing touchdowns and just under 41,000 passing yards. And, of course, one of the greatest playoff runs in NFL history that I hate talking about. He won't get in the Hall of Fame, but he probably should be on the ballot.
Absolutely. Mr. Elite Joe Flacco.
Good old Flacco.
Yep, the Flack man.
Man. Yep, I had to get you back to 2 strokes, so I still got a fighter's chance.
You got me good, too. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back at it next Monday with another episode of the Tan and J-Man Show. Have a fantastic week, everybody.